Hey, guys, good evening. Coach Denny here, calling you from beautiful the Hawkeye State. So where am I right now?
Iowa, the Hawkeye State.
You're in Florida,
Oh,
right?
you got one right. There you go. You got one right. But, hey, pleasure to talk to you guys. But we need to start the show off by making a little correction.
All right.
And we need to correct something from last week. I even had to go on the other show with Mr. Dan.
Oh, no.
Who came on the show last week and embarrassed me. We were talking about the state mythical champ of Wisconsin, and
yes,
I told you La Follette
right.
High School.
Yes.
And you guys, is it a team from Indiana, Lafayette? Dan comes on and goes, no, that's a town in northwest Wisconsin. I go, come on, guys, get your act together. Let me give you the facts here.
I know.
La Follette High School has 1,500 students.
Okay.
It's a Madison High School, okay?
Right, okay.
And I had clearly mentioned that. They won the state title. And then last week I had all these high school kids listening in. They wanted to know who won the state title from all these different schools, and I got calls the next day. Who is this Dan dude? Dan Danimo, or whatever his name is.
Well, I think
anyway,
it was...
So you, Mr. Jake, were totally wrong.
I've derailed the entire program. I'd like to issue a formal apology. I am now aware of La Follette High School in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm sorry. I'd like to congratulate them for winning the state championship. A lot of respect for them and what they've done with the program this year. And I just know that they've got to really be suffering through the fact that they don't live in Lafayette, honestly.
There you go. But anyway, hey, let's move on to some neat things. Now, last week we did the state champs of Wisconsin. This week, I wanted to mention that in Illinois, Whitney Young, it's a Chicago high school, won the state championship in Illinois. Their nickname is the Dolphins. And now here's one for Jer, and maybe we can ask Jer if you can remember this one.
Okay.
They beat Evanston High School 71-63 for the state title. What is the correct nickname for the Evanston High School?
Well, I know the New Trier used to be the Indians when I went there, and they were the Trivians. I was, for some reason, I don't know, but I was thinking that Evanston were Cowboys, but I don't know. I can't remember. What is it, Coach?
Well, anyway, if you remember, back in the day, New Trier had one high school, and they were the New Trier Indians. When they had the second high school built, the second high school was called the Cowboys. So they had Cowboys and Indians. Remember that?
Right, East
then
and
when
West.
they merged back into one school, now they're called the Trevians.
Okay, all right.
Now, Evanston, the runner-up in the state finals, the nickname is it the Wildcats?
Oh, that's Northwestern. I don't believe that would be Evanston, but go ahead. All right.
No, hear me out now.
Yes, sir.
This is a good one for you.
All right.
Evanston is not the Wildcats. Evanston is the Wild Kits, Kits.
Okay.
That's their nickname.
Okay.
Named after Northwestern.
That
there you go.
It just seems designed to be confusing, honestly.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
It's weird.
Also, if you remember last week, I'm sticking with it. I'm going on record. I told you next year the high school team in the area to beat will be Westosha Central. Great high school, great coaching, and they got some great young athletes. So there you go. Now let's talk a little bit about this. I want to ask you guys' opinion on this.
Okay.
In a few months when sports come back, here's the question for everybody.
It will come back.
They'll come back.
Thank you.
It's just, we just don't know when. I mean, it'll come back. But do you think this will ever happen again? Think of high school sports. At the end of the basketball game, in youth sports, basketball, what does everybody do? They meet, each team meets and shakes hands.
Shake hands,
correct?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, can't do that anymore.
Okay. Well, wait, high school football. They come across the field and they all shake hands.
Yes,
correct?
we do. Yes, we do. Right.
Baseball, high school level, college, they shake hands. Okay. Do you think that's coming to an end forever?
No, not at all.
Shaking hands?
I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't believe so.
Don't?
I do. I really do. I think. I really do.
I think parents are going to be going, hey, don't touch the kid. I don't know about that. But and then here's another interesting one. What in your opinion is going to be the last sport to come back?
That is a tough.
I'll give you my reasoning and opinion. Wrestling, because what's wrestling? That's a contact sport, right?
It's
right? You're constantly in contact with your opponent. Think about that one. What parent's going to say, I don't want him wrestling. That guy might have some illness.
I know.
Think about that. You agree with that?
It could be because I don't see that. God, Gosh, yeah.
Well, wrestling's tough.
You got sweaty bodies, touching sweaty bodies. Yeah, no, you're probably right on that, Coach.
But that's true in a lot of high school, like basketball especially too. There's a lot of contact in basketball. And you see guys get up in each other's faces, I would argue, almost more in basketball than you do in wrestling.
I think the first thing that could come back would be NASCAR.
Not at high school, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Why is there not more like racing programs sanctioned through schools? I feel like that would be more of a thing than it's already been.
I would like to see
the
that.
only racing, as Jared will tell you, back in the day was you had a hot rod car and you guys would go out on some side road and race.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Absolutely, I do. Yeah.
Jared was going through this list before the beginning of the show. He had all these different things as a child that I was supposed to have done, whether or not I got arrested, whether or not I'd ever broken the law.
Right.
One of them was whether or not I'd ever gone drag racing as a kid. And I was like, no, I was well behaved. I followed the speed limit.
You were a sheltered kid.
I would bet you, with Jared's background, he was definitely he had some hot car and he would be burning rubber in front of the girlfriend's house late at night. I can just picture that.
You ever raced for slips, Jared?
Yeah, I did. Matter of fact, my dad bought me a beater when I was 16. It was a 1964 Oldsmobile with a 455. Now, Dad made it. I think Dad paid $100 for it, but he made it safe. Put on brakes and brand new exhaust. I had it for about a week, and I cut the exhaust out, put on cherry bombs. Thing was roaring. I was eating Trans Ams left and right. But yeah, those were the good old days.
Now, speaking of wrestling, let's finish off with one of your good friends. We want to do a shout-out. Everybody does shout-outs. Let's do one for Louie's kids. Louie, Mr. Photographer, right? Professional photographer, did some stuff for you, video man.
Right, I love Louie.
His kids, did you know this? The last event I went to before everything shut down, Wisconsin had their state wrestling championships at Badger High School in Lake Geneva. And his kids came home with championships. Parker, the 6-year-old, was one, and then Aiden, the other one. Isn't that cool? That's my shout out for rest. And Parker's 6 years old. What do you think of that?
That little kid.
And who's coaching him? Of course, Louie.
That little kid plays baseball. He knows how to skateboard. He knows how to snowboard. That kid's into everything.
Basketball, golf, the whole thing.
Yeah, Louie's a good dad, man.
He's going to be Bo Jackson when he grows up.
Absolutely.
But now let's talk about the fact with nothing going on. Actually, there is quite a bit as far as our company goes. We're in the midst of recruiting, and we're in the basketball, finishing up the season. So what is your take on, since the NCAA didn't have their playoff, allowing those kids to come back for another year? Should they be allowed to come back? Not football, because the season ended and the recruiting was done. But what about basketball without the playoffs, even at the high school level? Should the kids in college that were seniors get another year of eligibility? Yes or no? What do you think of that?
It's weird because basketball counts as a winter sport, and I know that the NCAA has already gone ahead and said all seniors in spring sports will get another year eligibility, which is good. I think that is a must-have.
But not basketball, they're saying, because they had played the majority of their games.
The majority of the season.
I think they got ripped off, man.
It's tough. I really don't know what the correct answer is for that.
I tell you, from a recruiting point, it comes down to those playoffs. Even at the high school level, those playoffs is the last chance for someone to show before a showcase. So
absolutely,
if you look at it that way, that they really didn't. The top teams, some of the athletes did not get that chance. And then on the other side of the coin, the NCAA is saying, well, they played 90% of the season, and we have enough, background on them, videos and that, and let's go with that. So anyway, it depends. So talking about recruiting, the top 3 college recruiting classes that we rated are, see if you guys can name now. We're talking NCAA Division I top recruiting classes. Can you name the top 3 schools for recruiting classes according to what would be a guess?
I can spitball a couple of guesses. One school that always recruits really well is Kansas.
Okay, that'd be a guess.
How about Louisville?
Nope.
No.
Kansas, by the way, was 5th.
Okay.
Kansas was 5th.
Keep going.
Notre Dame.
No.
You say
thing in the NCAA, who's he gets to the final?
Duke is always a powerhouse.
There you go.
All right.
Duke.
Venezuela.
Venezuela. You mean Villanova, not Venezuela.
I just want to see if you can pick the top three.
North Carolina's up there too, I'm sure.
Okay, there you go. That's number 2.
That's 2.
Now, can you name the third one? Just think of big name schools that year in and year out. One more to go.
Give me a conference.
Is it Butler?
I'll give you one hint.
Okay.
Blue is one of their colors.
Blue Demons.
We went to Duke already. Duke in North Carolina, we already did. So they're all blue schools. Blue. Is it going to be UConn? There's no way.
No.
All right, Coach, what is it?
We're stumped.
Yeah, you stumped the chump.
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
It's good.
I said Louisville. I was close.
For the people listening, Wisconsin, we rated them as the 18th best college for recruiting.
Boy, it was fun to watch the Badgers last year.
Yeah. Oh, no. They're a fun team to watch, and I enjoy watching them, the coaching especially. And they got 2 of their top recruits are brothers, twin brothers from lacrosse, Jordan and Johnny Davis. They're going to go to school there.
Awesome.
Now, here's a great one. We're talking about college recruiting. A top recruit in Wisconsin, we'll start with some hints. His brother is a famous NBA player right now, an older brother. So who are we talking about? First name is Alex. And who could he be the brother of? Think about top player, NBA.
Who does his brother play for in the NBA?
Oh, if I tell you, will you get it? Should I just tell you?
Yeah, you should just tell us, because we won't get it.
Who is considered maybe one of the top 2 players in the NBA right now from the Bucks?
Is it Giannis?
Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Yes.
So his name is Alex Antetokounmpo? That's a lot of
His brother is Alex. He's from Dominican High School. I mean, that's where they live. And he's a top 10 recruit right now. There you go. Wow. He's at Dominican High School. But is that neat? Kind of cool.
So Giannis obviously is among the NBA's best of the best of the best. And then his brother Giannis is also on the Bucks.
What is it?
I believe his brother's name is Giannis. I could be wrong about that.
Imagine calling their names at dinner time.
Right. But what's neat about it is, seriously, if you ever had the opportunity to talk to him and know a little bit more about the family, they are really a class act. Honestly. They're in it for, the community and that, not just their outstanding players, but think about the neat things they do for the community and that. But we have some videos when the younger brother would be playing high school games and Giannis would be able to attend the game. Of course, he had to do a little bit of like a parent, little coaching, a little bit of this and that. Did you ever done, Jerry, you did that with your son. I know that,
sure.
Football and that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or if your son's doing something else and you're watching him, you got to put your 2 cents in. We know how you operate. But anyway, so there you guys go. There's a little bit of the college. And
hey Coach, we got to take a break. Can you stick around to the top of the hour with us? We're having fun with you tonight.
We'll have more fun. Why don't I give you some other stuff? We'll get you going.
All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be back more with Coach when we get back. You're listening to Double J Sports Report right here on AM 1050 WLIP.
Weekdays at noon, Frank and Kim Carmichael and Rihanna Stockdale. Happenings
Q&A. Call. If you think you want him to go for another 10 minutes, I'll leave the mics open.
AM 1050 WLIP. AM 1050 WLIP. Kenosha's radio station. Live and local.
Hi, this is Paul Francetic from Francetic Tax Resolution. Join me this Saturday morning from 7 till 8. We'll talk about taxes, I'll have weekly guests and giveaways, and we'll take your calls.
Don't get frantic with Paul Francetic. This Saturday morning, 7 to 8.
Sponsored by On-Site Staffing Services.
If a home purchase is on your horizon, or if you need to refinance, Truestone Home Mortgage is here to help you, step by step. As a division of Truestone Financial Federal Credit Union, you'll receive full-service banking right in your neighborhood. Plus, great rates and the best in-class service you know to expect. Visit TruestoneHomeMortgage.com and schedule your free consultation today. Truestone is your neighborhood credit union.
Truestone is an equal housing lender and insured by NCUA.
Newsflash. Good oral care habits keep you healthy. That means brushing your teeth for 2 minutes, twice a day, and flossing regularly no matter what brand you use. Quip makes things that make good habits simple, starting with an electric toothbrush, refillable floss, and anti-cavity toothpaste. Quip's electric brush has sensitive sonic vibrations with a built-in timer and 30-second pulses to guide a full and even clean. Their well-designed floss dispenser might make you actually want to floss, with pre-marked string to help you use just enough. Plus, Quip delivers a fresh brush head, floss, and toothpaste refills to your door every 3 months, with free shipping, so your routine is always right. Join over 3 million healthy mouths and get Quip today, starting at $25. And if you go to getquip.com/newstalk right now, you'll get your first refill absolutely free. That's your first refill free at getquip.com/newstalk. Quip, the Good Habits Company.
Live and local. Kenosha's sports talk happens here. The WLIP Sports Roundtable.
All right, we got the old man making his way back down the hall, and the millennial, if we could just get him to put his phone down. Double J Sports Report is back.
That's right, we back. We back in black. I knew that was going to happen. Right here on AM 1050 WLIP. You can listen online, WLIP.com. When you get over there, go over to the roundtable section. Click on mine and Jake's pretty little face. You'll see all of our fine sponsors on there. And this segment's brought to you by our good friends at the Inn on Sheridan. If you have not been over there lately to go out to eat at Bailey's, which I do owe you, Jake. Yes, they're temporarily closed right now. However, you can buy a gift card. Okay, once this thing is all said and done, you go there and you'll have the most mouth-watering ribeye steak you have ever had in your entire
Here's
life.
one thing I think. I've worked a lot in food service, right? I'm going a little, I haven't been working my food service jobs as much because of this whole outbreak.
Sure.
All these employees, when they come back to these restaurants, they are going to be so glad to be back in the kitchen. They're going to be in the best moods of their lives. You are going to have some of the most incredible dining experiences you have ever had. And I have to imagine when you take me to Bailey's restaurant, it is going to be the best meal I've had in my whole gosh darn life.
Oh, my God. For their entire menu, check out their brand new website, the Inn on a Sheridan, and you'll click over to the right and you'll see the Bailey's menu. Click on that and look at all the mouth-watering food they have there. Our proud sponsor of the Double J Sports Report. Before we went to break, we were talking to Coach Denny. Are you still hanging around there, my friend?
Of course I'm hanging around. I'm an old man. What am I supposed to do? Come on, huh?
You know, I called you right before the show. I'm like, hey, man, you coming on tonight? And you're like, yeah, when can I come in? I'm like, dude, it's still messed up out here. And I said, plus, Coach, I want to make sure you're safe because you're an old guy. You're right at that prime age there, buddy.
I know, but if you take the steps like they keep telling you, you should be okay. The biggest thing for me is avoid the crowd. So I think I was telling you when I do the kicking camps now, we do two athletes at a time at each end of the field. And I told you they get a 1 hour session. They show up. They have to be in an individual vehicle, show up with their family, their dad, their mom, whoever drives them. And then they get out and they have to work at each end of the field for an hour, and then we just do two at a time. I stay in the middle, we grade them, we video them, and we make corrections and show them how to kick.
Now, Denny,
your partner on Saturday, I'm going to have his the grandkid. He'll be out one day, and we'll teach him how to kick, get him in a
Did Mickey hit you up for that? Because he told me he was going to. He's like, oh, my God, my grandson's a kicker. We got to get Coach Denny.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no,
he'll do
I'll
it
be glad to help him. But, hey, we're talking a little bit about, if we had this is for parents and people listening in, we could talk about how to get a college scholarship in any sport is what our company does. And I can tell people some of the key things that you need to do. And you can get, the biggest philosophy I have, if a kid wants to go to college and play sports, somewhere in this country is a school that he would fit in to play at, somewhere. And he can get a scholarship. And there are ways of doing it. And like I said, if the parents would take the time and work with their son or daughter, they can get to any school they want. And, some of the key things that you've heard this, I'm sure, growing up, what is the number one thing the parents are going to college? How are your grades? You get that asked all the time. Do you not?
Right,
but that's really true because a lot of the college coaches, they get graded on the athletes that they select for scholarship that they get in their program. They like to see what the grade point average is. So that's very important. The other big thing, and I tell this to the kids even the kids I coach now and the kids I work with, you have to be careful what you put and say on the internet.
Oh, no, absolutely, because you might delete it, but it is out there forever.
Right. And if it's a big-name school, the kids we just recruited, the top 3 in the country going to Duke. We signed the kid from Wisconsin, Nicolay. the kid from Whitney Young in Chicago, and then the kid from Fairfax, Virginia. Top 3 guards in the country. They're all going to Duke. But see, the big name schools, they have people in their office, their athletic office, that will research the kid.
Prune their social media.
If they find anything at all, right? They don't want anything to do with kids like that. They're looking for a good, solid athlete. Okay?
Right.
Most recently around here, Josh Hader blew up in his face. Just some old dumb tweets he made, and it came back to haunt him.
Well, I don't remember when we drafted Mitchell Trubisky. There is a few tweets out there that he said he liked to kiss a female anatomy parts. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
I do too.
But it's stuff like that. But at a college level, professional level, that's different.
Right.
The contract. But at a college level, they're looking. Some of these coaches, these are big name coaches that are well respected. Coach K, I keep bringing him up, but Coach K of Duke, he's really big on it. He's looking for the total athlete. Right. That's what people have to understand.
Right.
But there's things. Maybe we can devote a show sometime. We had the right audience or something, where I can go through year by year in high school what you need to be doing as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, if you want to go to college. And college isn't for everybody. There's a lot of great trade jobs out there. Kids like to go in and get into a trade, and that's super.
Sure.
But for the kids that are interested, you can get into a school, and if it's Division III where there's no actually athletic scholarships, but there's academic money, you can get your schooling paid for if you know how to do that. And we can go on and talk to kids about that and how we can get them into school. And some of the things that we do with our company, by the way, the biggest company in the world with 440 recruiters nationwide. I'll throw that little plug in.
What's the name of your company?
All Star Sports.
All Star Sports.
Since 1970. Thank you.
They should be a proud sponsor. They should be a sponsor of our show. I'm a sales guy. I'm going to talk to you about that. We have very reasonable sponsor rates there for you, my friend.
As long as you keep Dan away from your show.
You got it, buddy.
We can do that.
We can make
That's
that
no
happen.
problem at all.
That's easy.
But anyway, like I said, I can't wait to get back. Because you know what? You know this. Sports is really a big part of this country. Sports is what brings people together, and it's good. Sports is a great outlet for everybody.
And
no matter what it is, even if it's bowling, right?
At its base, sports is an escape, and that's what you've got to remember. And even when it's not actively happening, you want to use it as a tool for people to.
Even at the end of the day, we got to think about it, guys. Sports is entertainment. That's what our job is to do. We are here to entertain you. Go ahead, Jacob.
I was just saying, we got to go. We're
is it at the top of the hour?
It's almost the top of the hour. Yeah,
Coach Denny, we appreciate you calling in.
One last thing, real quick. One last thing.
Go ahead.
What level of coaching is the toughest? And that starts with youth, high school, college, NBA. What is the toughest level of coaching and why? Real quick, the answer, I'll just tell you guys why. It's youth sports, because
you're darn right it is.
Got out of the car, they get dropped off by the mom. You don't know if they had a bad day. The mom did this and that. It's not like high school. You have the kids every day. And by the way, there's great youth coaches and there's great high school coaches in Kenosha County, Racine County, Wisconsin, Northern Illinois. How about Chuck at Lake Forest? Great guy. Very knowledgeable, and he's real good with the kids. He's just one of many. Ben Chamness over at Tremper. In my opinion, coach of the year.
Sounds good, Denny.
Denny,
way to go, man.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
What are we doing next hour, Jer? We got jersey numbers.
We got jersey numbers and my top 5 sports movie of all time. See if you agree or disagree.
It's going to be good. See you at the top of the hour.
We'll be right back.
It's 8 o'clock. You're listening to AM 1050 WLIP Kenosha.